It's chips, Emma. Wow. Test. Hi, we're at Maxwell Food Center and we're here to try Jin Ji Mei Shi, an easily named stall with no fancy signages and food award posters. Jin Ji Mei Shi sells some of the best handmade Teochew kuehs that you can buy even though the stallholder is not actually Teochew. Run by 60-year-old Irene Wang, a second-generation Hainanese hawker. The stall has been in business for about roughly 40 years, but they actually started off selling chicken rice before switching over to Teochew kuehs, as business wasn't doing well. Based at Maxwell Food Center, all the kuehs are handmade every day by Irene herself, and many of the popular items are sold out if you arrive there any later than 11 AM. So you can get a few interesting items like steamed yam cake or kueh. Then there's a pumpkin cake, fried glutinous rice, sum kueh, a dumpling with a filling of shredded turnips, black mushrooms and dried prawns. There's also swan panzi, Hakka abacus seeds, which is incredibly hard to get hold of, as you will watch in the footage afterwards. The reason why you see my study as a background is because I recorded the introduction but I forgot to turn on the mic. So there you go. So I had to re-record everything again. Anyway, come, let's have a taste. This one,
not be fun.
yam. Actually, one of each, I think.
One chili.
Chili
and
also, yeah. Swan panzi, yeah.
no more.
No more? Wow, so early, ah. So let's say if I want to try your swan panzi, right?
Morning time. I always I cook around 7 something like that.
I think after about 8 more.
Maybe lah. Depends lah.
Oh, depends, ah. Okay.
Sometimes still have, sometimes don't have.
Okay. We're here back in Maxwell Food Center. So I went to the stall and they have got 4 items left. I missed out on the swan panzi. They're very hard to find. Very few places do it now. They're one of the few. They have it ready by 7 AM. It gets sold out by 8 AM. I came at 9, okay? So 9 o'clock, come on. I got the glutinous rice, I got the yam cake, I got the pumpkin cake, and I got the sum kueh. So these are the 4. I'm missing 1. I'll probably have to come back here just to try just one item. Caveat though, I've only tried this stall a couple of times, so bear that in mind. Now since I've got a little bit of chili in my hands, I'm gonna try. And the chili, oh my god. Wow! Okay, it is incredibly spicy. It's spicy, slightly sweet, it's oil rich. Very slight sour tinge to it. It doesn't taste as though there's any dried prawn flavor in it. But it's really nice. Oh my god. The brown sauce, normally you get it factory made. Here it's not factory made, she actually makes the damn sauce. This brown sauce. Oh my god. Not too sweet. It's got a round, smooth flavor to it. It's got a bean flavor, but you can tell that the sugar and the bean flavor, they sit side by side. Sugar doesn't overpower the bean flavors. It's perfectly balanced. And there's a nice richness to it. The yam cake. Oh. It's like out as well. I'm at a loss for words. Oh my god, this is really good. Thick pieces of yam, you put in pieces of dried prawns, and you got flecks of sesame seed on top. Texture, soft but not too soft, and it's wonderfully rich. It's got a firm yet soft texture, slightly crumbly. It may seem a bit dry, but it's not, because once you dip it in the sauce. Oh my god. It gives it just a little bit of the added moisture, a little bit of sweetness, and a bit of extra layer of bean flavor on it. Oh, this is like outstanding. This is seriously outstanding. You add a bit of chili in it, spiciness, a bit of grittiness, a little bit more oil richness, just a tinge of sourness. Okay, hang on. I forgot to put a little bit of perspective in here. The kueh you buy here is a street side version. Okay, they price it cheap, so it's never going to be as good as homemade. So in the cake, you get yam, you get a bit of dried prawns inside. The actual kueh itself is actually very, very good, but you are missing out on a lot of ingredients. You're missing on a lot of the toppings. The fried onions, and sometimes they put spring onions, or they put coriander, or they put sliced chili. The actual kueh itself, you're missing out on the dried mushrooms and larger pieces of the dried prawn. So anyway, back to the vlog. Now the glutinous rice. So it's got fried onions, dried mushrooms, dried prawns inside, and of course glutinous rice. Oh my god. Okay. The glutinous rice, bouncy, not too sticky, rich, very lightly savoury base flavour to it. Fried onions to it, fried onion flavour. Dried mushrooms gives a textural difference to it. There's also a little bit more savouriness in the dried mushroom. Dried prawn, but it's almost non-existent. The food actually reminds me of what my Hakka grandmother used to cook. Very homemade stuff. And this takes me back. Now I'm really looking forward to this. This is the pumpkin cake. I've never ordered it because I'm sorry, I'm one of those late risers. Whenever I come, there's only the yam left. So this is my first time trying the pumpkin. Okay, imagine the flavour of the yam. And there's like shredded pumpkin inside, which adds a little bit of pumpkin sweetness inside. It's not as heavy as the yam. There's like a lot of fried mushrooms inside. So it's all like breaks up the heaviness of it. It's rich, it's soft. Oh, and there's dried prawns as well. Makes me wonder, why didn't I try this earlier? This is seriously amazingly good. This is what I call the ultimate breakfast snack. Soon kueh. You actually have this sweet dark sauce to it. This is like beyond good. Radish, carrots, black pepper, dried mushrooms, dried prawns, lots of stewy moisture inside. It's got a very round vegetable stock flavour to it. The skin is thin, it's not thick. It's important to have the skin to be thin. Rich but not overly rich. When you want to add more richness, you can add the chili on the side. Very often the vegetable filling is cooked, but it's never well stewed. There isn't like too much flavour inside, and they tend to rely on the sauces at the side. Sweet sauce and the chili sauce to sort of like provide that flavour. But here, you can eat the soon kueh on its own. There's enough pepper, there's enough stock savouriness to it. And there's still crunch. They stew the vegetables, but not quite through. Obviously, I can't finish everything, but I'm gonna try. Okay, this is day 2, and we're back at this stall again. I came a little bit earlier. This one panzi, abacus seeds. So we're gonna try this today. This is their version of it. It doesn't look like abacus seeds, because normally it has a kind of like a round shape and then it's got that dip in the middle. Okay, this one doesn't have that. So I think that they actually roll it out and then actually cut it out. Even though it doesn't have that, right, it looks extremely homemade, it looks really good. That's what it looks like. Oh wow. Okay. It's a little bit more flour rather than yam, which is not a bad thing. Various places will have different interpretation of what abacus seeds should actually taste like. Some like it smaller, some like it bigger, some like it softer, some like it harder. This one goes for a very firm bounciness to it. This is actually a Hakka dish, and I remember watching a program where they actually went back to the hometown of the Hakkas, Tapu, and they actually found out that the abacus seeds were actually made using very little yam. It's only in Singapore where you actually use a lot more yam here. So here, there's still yam, but there's not as much yam. There's actually a firm bounciness to the texture, yeah? The black fungus. Why do you eat black fungus? It's really for the texture. It actually comes very, very crunchy. Sometimes they do it softer, sometimes they do it firmer. The mincemeat, chunky, firm. It's actually highly savoury, highly salted, but it's not overly salty because it actually pairs well with the swan panzi itself, with the abacus seeds. One abacus seed with black fungus, some minced pork, all at once. Got a lot of fried garlic flavour here. I'm Hakka and I've had a homemade. I've tried many versions of this, and this is definitely a very different version. It's a very robust version of it. Very chunky, very robust. The abacus seeds have a very firm, springy texture, and you've got large strips of black fungus, huge pieces of minced pork, big savoury flavour. The chili adds spiciness, obviously. adds a lot more flavor to it. Chili adds a bit of sweetness too. But I actually think it's not necessary in this case because the flavor alone, the suan panzi plus the very highly savory minced pork, right, really makes it. You don't actually need more. I hope you enjoyed that. If you like what I'm doing, give a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. So tomorrow I might come for your suan panzi. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, 10.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, I keep for you. I keep for you.
Keep for me, ah?
Okay, on.
You wanna on?
On.
Hello. Wow, thank you very much.